Amber Heard. Unite! So I think that us Amber Heard haters should unite. We should, we're going to become a voice. We already are, and that person who started the petition made that clear. See, I didn't get in on the fandom menace in time. I was not a YouTuber at that time. I kind of missed the boat on that, although I was a contributor to it. But I think that's what's going to happen here, and I think we need a name for ourselves. Like the Star Wars haters called it the fandom menace, and that was pretty clever. I haven't thought of a good name, and maybe someone else can think of a good name for it. But for now, I'm just going to go with the Amber Heard, like Herd. It's not as clever as it could be because I don't like calling us sheep, but we're still like a herd. We're making it's a joke about us, like we're a group of animals that hate Amber Heard. We're like, I like to think of the word herd as like riot, like a riot, or like a, what do you call it? Like when a bunch of people, like a mob, I'm thinking of the word herd like a mob. And there's many of us have many different talents. We can use this during this Amber Heard virus that's going on. We can all contribute. There was this person on Twitter that added me, or not on Twitter, on Instagram, and I'm not much of an Instagrammer, but they created a name Amber Heard's sister, and they made all these hilarious pictures of her. Some of the pictures that I put up in my videos, they were made by that person. It's a guy. I don't know much about him. I don't care. But there you go. And then that person, I took their pictures with their permission and put them on my videos, which strengthened my videos, and then I'm strengthening that person's pictures. Then there's people who tweet. I don't really tweet. So they can, and then maybe they can get me onto Twitter, because I don't really know how to do it very well. I'm very good at one-liners, though, so I would be useful in that regard. I'm very good at one-liners. I'm very good at speaking, I believe. Like talking on and on and on, and being interesting in that way. So other people, like the person who was Amber Heard's sister, maybe they're not much into talking. They don't really give a shit. It's not their thing. But they're good at pictures. They like to doctor them. They're, visually able. I'm not visually able. I'm visually retarded. I'm good at music. I could make an Amber Heard song, a theme song. I'm not good at lyrics, though, so somebody could write the lyrics. I've studied music theory from the what's it called? The classical. I forget what it's called. The contemporary classical. It's a certain period. The classical music. I've studied classical music. All the theorists. And I've listened to Bach probably for 10,000 hours, and I've written thoughts, concertos and shit. And I'd love to put that to use on something, and I can think of no better cause than the Amber Heard virus. And I was thinking of, I should stop referring to the Amber Heard virus like it's getting old. But then I realized, no, the more you use it, the more it sticks in people's heads. Donald Trump is very good at that for I think he's an idiot, but he says fake news enough times, and now everybody else is saying it. It's not a very clever phrase, but it makes his point, or make America great again, right? So I'm just saying, the Amber Heard virus. And I actually like to think of myself as an optimist, and I think it's a very wonderful coincidence that Amber Heard is getting destroyed at the same time the coronavirus is thriving. So the Amber Heard virus works very well for me anyways. And I had my first live stream today, which was taken down because I was watching a movie and I was commenting on it while I was watching it, and then they played a song by Buddy Holly on the movie, and then YouTube removed the live stream because of the Buddy Holly song. And I'm not sure how that works, because Buddy Holly's been dead for like almost 75 years. Shouldn't his music be public domain by now? Whose copyright am I infringing on? His family? Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so I did the live stream, and I was thinking, that's fine, like, maybe I'll start doing live streams. Like, I only had 2 viewers at a time. For a long time I had 0. But that's okay with me. I just put a movie on and I just started watching the movie. And I was just commenting while I was watching the movie, on the movie, and talking about whatever the hell if people were chatting back. I mean, it's nothing to me to just start the live stream and sit back and watch a movie, and I could do my dishes. I was doing my dishes at the same time, so who gives a shit? But, I mean, I could do that on a, I guess schedule times for it, and because I think during this coronavirus, it's more like just hanging out for 2 hours and like, I love doing all the talking. I'm really good at talking for forever, and that would just be a laid back thing. And I could even, Netflix has this new option, right, where you can it's an app or something where you can watch a movie with other people elsewhere at the same time, and there's a little chat room. So you can chat about the movie while you're watching it with other people around the world or whatever, right? So I was thinking it might be similar to that, except that I would be, I don't really want to be seen, but I can't find a way around it just yet, so I'll do that. I'll just, whatever. I'll be on video, or maybe I'll just block the camera and just talk. I don't think I'm much to look at, and I want to pick my nose. But we could do that regularly and just chill out. And any thoughts on Amber Heard? Sounds like fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. But it would be very casual. It wouldn't be like, it'd be very lazy. It would just be hanging out. It wouldn't be some profound shit. And the thing about being a YouTuber is the same about doing anything. Moderately, very, very, very on the low spectrum of art. Let's say you're a stand-up comedian. It takes you a while to figure out what your identity is, right? As a writer, I've figured out my identity. As a composer, I really haven't figured out my identity. That takes a lifetime, especially when I'm trying to write classical music. But it's very hard to have an identity as a songwriter or a composer. But well, not as a songwriter. I don't think that's any good music. That music doesn't count. But my identity as a YouTuber, it's starting to form. But I don't have my identity as a live streamer, and I don't know. A big one is, how much are you willing to talk about yourself? How much should you talk about yourself, like your personal life? And at first, I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I'd like to just never talk about my personal life. But then I think, who gives a shit? It's like, I'm not going to name any names. I'm going to say my mother did this once. I don't know, but I'm not really. It's not like I'm going to say my mother took a shit once or something. And I think the other problem about getting too close to your subscribers on YouTube or whatever, on Twitter or anything, is that if you suddenly get a million people watching your videos, the original people that followed you are going to feel neglected. Like, I was there at the beginning, and now he won't even respond to me. And I don't want to be that guy, because that's what a lot of YouTubers did during the fandom menace, where I felt like I was there with them when they were just starting out, and they would respond to me, and now it's just like they're untouchable because they've got 1 million followers. And I don't know if I want 1 million followers. And if I ever... Oh, by the way, this is all about the coronavirus. It has nothing to do with me or, or Twitter or YouTube. It's all about Amber Heard. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, and if I ever achieve my ultimate goal, which is to have subscribers who are Patreon patrons, so that can finance the books that I'm writing, the fiction books that I'm writing, which are my real passion in life. If I ever achieve that, then there's all these other questions, like, do I mention the people that are being patrons? Do I mention them at the end of the video? Because that could end up being a very long list. And am I leaving people out? And do they even want to be acknowledged, or would they prefer to remain anonymous? So there's all that crap. So like I said, I'm still figuring out my identity. I'm figuring out how close I want to be to subscribers. And I'm figuring out, well, I know a few things. I know that I'll never, ever sell t-shirts or coffee mugs. Although my symbol, Human Warnings, the symbol, is pretty awesome. So it actually would work as a coffee cup. But you know what? Fuck that. I'm not into coffee cups. I don't buy coffee cups with my favorite pictures on them, so why would I make them for others then? It's very hypocritical. And I don't wear shirts with slogans or logos on them, so why would I make them and sell them to others? Although I did make a hat with my logo on it once, and that was pretty awesome. And I do believe in wearing shirts and shit with your own logo on it. But I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous when certain YouTubers with terrible logos, like Geeks and Gamers, try to sell t-shirts, because it's like, I'm going to buy a t-shirt that just says Geeks and Gamers on it. It's a terrible name for a web channel. I don't care if he's got 100,000 followers. He's got a terrible name. Blink 182 or something. Nirvana was a cool name, but Blink 182, shitty, Good Charlotte. And I'm linking my thoughts to Amber Heard and the coronavirus. And that was a big discovery of mine, was that I can talk about anything I want under the guise of it being Amber Heard or the coronavirus, and it'll fly, and I can sneak past the idea of it being clickbait. And as long as I keep referring to the Amber Heard virus in every one of my videos, my work is done, objective achieved, because destroying her reputation. So anything I can say to get people to keep listening to me say Amber Heard virus is good. It works. And it's not like I'm delivering university lectures where I'm talking about, I say that it's about Aristotle's ethics, and then I start talking about my cat. Anyway, so that's my plan, is I'm going to have videos that are somewhat thought out. This isn't incredibly thought out, but somewhat thought out, where I'm editing, I'm doing thought by thought, and then I'll have live streams where I'm just picking my ass on webcam. These YouTube videos of mine, there's only so much effort I can put into them. I can't put hours into editing them and special effects and shit, because this is not my main thing. My main thing is my book and studying classical music, so that has to always take priority. But I will put effort into making the channel better, and to helping us unite as the Amber Heard, because that's a lot of fun. And even before the Amber Heard virus, I was already socially... Oh, swim to me, Mera. I always like saying that. Swim to me, Mera, when I look at that picture. What was I saying? Fuck, I always forget what I was saying. Before the Amber Heard virus, I was already socially distancing. And so this really is awesome. The Amber Heard virus is kind of awesome for me, because it's not like I was not going to rock concerts anyways. I usually am home doing, I don't like people very much, but I don't mind people in this in this format. So uniting with people under with a common interest like the Amber Heard virus allows me to have it gives me something of a social life, because aside from that, all I do is play chess on the phone with my friend. That's like study chess. Actually, we're getting pretty good. That's pretty much all the interest I have socially. I have none. And so this would fulfill not fulfill, what's the word? This would satisfy any social need I have. And then I can carry on with my antisocial life. And I don't mind making friends on here to a degree. I just don't want to make the kind of people like my neighbor. He says, oh, we're friends, always, we're friends, and I fucking hate it, because it's yeah, but then you're going to bring that up when you become an asshole. I thought we were friends, you're going to do that bullshit. And that's very Amber Heardian to do that, right? Oh, marry me, I love you. Wait, you're my husband, so therefore I get to punch you in the face whenever I want. I mean, I don't mind mentioning my cat's name. I don't mind being personal to a degree. The one guy, Ethan Van Sciver, he's constantly mentioning his wife's name and his daughter's name, who's a little kid. I think that's going too far. I don't think he should be doing that, because he's pretty provocative on his channel, and he's got a lot of followers or subscribers, and I don't, there's bound to be some that hate him, and then the nut jobs, right? And you really want them to know your daughter's name? What does that have to do with anything? I hope he made up a fake name for his daughter, because that's a little bit too much. And the other thing is that everybody who hates Amber Heard, it's not that we found something in common, and it's not just Amber Heard. It's that we really despise adultery and hypocrites, and so we can bond in that. And the more we have a discourse, the more funny ideas we can come up with. right? If I'm just alone if the internet didn't exist, I would just be alone thinking blah, blah, blah. But as a think tank, right, as a group, we can think of a million great ideas, like names for her. Right now, my two that I'm sticking with are Amber Heard virus, swim to me, Mera, and calling the group the Amber Heard. But you know what? I think there will be a name for the group, and I think there is a group, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's already a name for them, and it'll organically spring up. It won't be one person that says this is the name. It'll be the name that sticks. It just sticks on its own. But where our similarities end are, I mean, I hate baseball. I have no interest at all in it. And I wouldn't want to listen to a YouTuber. But then again, if a YouTuber was likening the Amber Heard virus to, like, striking out at baseball, I might enjoy that. I might enjoy learning about baseball through the common ground that we have with Amber Heard. So maybe it's okay to digress. It is okay to digress. You know what? My rule is like, just like with comedy, you can make a joke about anything, no matter how bad, like, the subject matter. You can use the N-word if you want, but the thing is, you have to be funny. So you better be funny. Likewise, with a movie or anything, a YouTube channel, you can talk about anything you want, but you better be entertaining. That's the cardinal rule, and that's the only rule. Like, for example, I've listened to these lectures to the teaching company, which is like the best professors in the world talking about their fields. And some of them are very entertaining, and it makes it fun to learn about particle physics, for example, or argumentation. But others are just so goddamn boring. They're just not very good at explaining. They're not very good teachers. So I listened to one on, string theory, right? And I listened to all the lectures, and I don't understand any of this, and I'm not even following him, and maybe it's too complex for me, but it's his job. It was his job to explain it to the layman. Like, you don't have to be Bill Nye the Science Guy, and you don't have to dress up like a clown to entertain me. Actually, that doesn't work usually. But you have to do something. You have to be passionate, and you have to engage the person, because that's your job. And Amber Heard, she's an unintentional clown. She did the job, because she's entertaining me unbelievably. She's the perfect clown. You can mock her, you can make fun of her, and you don't have to feel bad about it. And she doesn't feel bad about it. So it's just like, it's wonderful. She's like a dartboard, a willing dartboard. I mean, she's the new Bill Cosby as far as I'm concerned. She is the new Lady Gaga. I hated Lady Gaga deeply. So, for me, like the person that's fun to hate, although it wasn't so much fun hating Lady Gaga because she was actually succeeding. But it's a lot more fun to hate Bill Cosby or Harvey Weinstein or Amber Heard, because you get to watch them fail, so it's at least there's some positivity there. And to all the people who think that well, you're probably not listening if you're one of those people who think that it's negative to hate on anybody. Well, I don't agree, because you hate something because you love something else, and you feel threatened by the thing that is, the thing is threatening the thing you love. Like, I hate cheating because I love fidelity and loyalty. I hate bad music because I cherish good music. And the pleasure I derive from seeing Amber Heard almost spontaneously combust, it's not pleasure in her pain. I wouldn't want to hurt anybody. Like, really. That's how I know I'm not a psychopath. No matter how much I hate anybody, I wouldn't want to see them terrified and naked and in the fetal position, shivering in a corner. I wouldn't want that on anyone. So that's how I know I'm not a psychopath. I don't, like, I go easy on people when it really matters. But it's not bad hatred, it's good hatred, for lack of a better idea. It's like, I need to know there's justice in the world. I need to know that when somebody does something awful, that they pay for it. When I see somebody do something awful and get away with it, it makes me think, oh, so being a good person doesn't matter. Look, that person's happy as hell. So that's the pleasure that I'm driving, is more of a sense of that, yeah, it's okay to be a good person, and bad people do pay. And that's why the justice system was created in the first place, to make sure that people like Amber Heard pay. Because the world can't work. if Amber Heards are running rampant. And then she'll spread like a virus, and before you know it, other girls are going to be emulating Amber Heard because they're going to be saying, oh, look what she did, and she won. So I should do that too. I'm going to find a rich guy and take him for all he's worth and then throw him out like a piece of shit. Is that the role model that Amber Heard is trying to be for young girls? Is that her idea of female empowerment? So I'll end here. Amber Heard. Amber Heard unite. Oh, another reason why it's not immoral to bash Amber Heard on the public sphere, in the public sphere, is because she threw her hat into the public sphere, right? She decided to be a public person, decided to be an inspiration to everyone, or to pose as one, and she decided to air her dirty laundry in public, and therefore it's okay. And I think there's a law about it where, like, if you're a public person, it's okay for people to bash you. Whereas if I was saying this about my girlfriend, who I don't have a girlfriend, of course not. if I had an ex-girlfriend and I was trashing her on here and saying, yeah, she's a bitch and this is her name and you know, and then it's the you know, Sarah virus or whatever her name would be, I could be charged with slander, but you can't be charged if it's a public figure. Now, I don't know the exact rule. I'm not a lawyer, but it's something like that. And so she entered the public sphere. And the other thing is, when I talk about her publicly like this, it's not the same as if I was to talk to her one-on-one. I mean, it's a good distinction to make, right? Because the lecture of argumentation I listened to, they were saying that, like, there's different types of arguments. There's arguments in the public sphere and there's private arguments. So if you're having a one-on-one argument with somebody, that's very different than if you're having a debate, like a presidential debate. Because when you're having a debate in front of an audience, you're not trying to prove anything to the person you're debating. You're trying to prove to the audience what you're thinking. So you're going to take very different tactics in your arguments. Whereas if you're dealing with somebody one-on-one, you're trying to convince them and only them of something. So you're going to use a very different strategy. If I was to talk to Amber Heard one-on-one, I would say, you know that what you did was wrong and you're a liar, right? And if she denied it, I would just stick with it. You're a liar. And I can't even talk to you because I know that you don't even value truth in the first place. You don't even know what it is. It doesn't even exist for you. Like, you know. So, I mean, I really don't have anything to say to you until you tell me that you feel bad or and you're a liar and you admit you're a fucking liar, and that's it. And no, nothing personal, whatever. But I wouldn't be like mocking her and saying, swim to me, Mera, and calling her the Amber virus, because that would achieve nothing, except she'd probably kick me in the balls or something. So that's it. Yeah, subscribe if you can, because I guess I want more subscribers. I think it's okay. I think it's safe to ask for more subscribers. So yeah, and let's unite. Amber Heard, unite. Oh god, okay, I got another thought. Sorry. I have profound thoughts all the time. They're profound to me anyways. Okay, so I was watching this show, the Tiger King or something, and there was this woman, and she made a really good point. She's like, okay, I devoted my whole life to saving tigers, and I don't read the news. Like, I just specialize in this one thing, and I think that if I do that, then my work, I've done a good job, like, as a good person. And I'm like, that's true, right? Like, if you specialize in something, like, that's good, like, whatever it is, if it's, taking care of your dying husband or your father or something, it's okay if you're not informed of certain things, like viruses, and you're not giving money to, like, I don't know, transsexual marriage, supporting that, or and you're in the dark. It's not your job to be educated about everything. That's why we have experts, because they will tell us what's important about those areas. I might be an expert at one or two things, probably one, and that's great, and I'll talk about that. But I mean, what I'm trying to say though is, if anybody was to say, "Oh, well, you're joking about Amber Heard while the coronavirus is going on," like, that's not sensible, and that's irresponsible. And I would say, my response would be, look, I'm doing everything that I'm being told to do by the experts. What more can I do? So in the meantime, I'm doing what I'm good at, which is being funny and thought-provoking. And I'm putting little tidbits in there that I think are not harmful. I think they're healthy thoughts. So fuck off, you know. I'm sorry that I'm not talking about gay marriage right now. That's not my field of expertise. And also, I never say anything bad about gay marriage. So I don't need to devote a minute of every video that I write about gay marriage and then another one about saving the whales. You know, you can't fight every battle. And as an artist or wannabe artist, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to make beauty. I'm trying to create beauty. And that's in and of itself a good thing. And I'm already doing my role as a human being. I don't necessarily need to go to protests about good things or save the whales. You know, we'll leave that to the people who devoted their lives to saving whales. Being trying to create beauty as art is enough of a fucking good deed. And maybe this is wrong, but this is why I don't feel guilty being an asshole in person to people. I feel guilty to some degree, but I allow myself to be quite outspoken or to be quite an asshole at times. You know, and in fact, if somebody is doing something good, like they saving the whales, and they're a total dick, I'll be like, yeah, you can be a dick. I love you. I don't care. Whereas if somebody's like a corporate piece of shit who's pouring oil into the ocean, but they're a really nice person and a perfect gentleman, I'll still be like, you're a piece of shit. I don't care if you're nice. And, you know, on the other hand, I knew a girl who was like the opposite, where I'm like, you would bang Hitler if he was nice to you and praised you, and then also you would think that and she was all about saving the environment. You would have no interest in an environmentalist if they weren't, you know, nice to you. You'd think they were an asshole. If you like gays, click like. If you like blacks, comment. If you like women, click notification bell. If you like gay women, subscribe. And if you like gay black women, Patreon, human warnings, give me money.